I didn't just think this would be a challenge for you guys. This is going to be a challenge for myself as well this morning. I don't get to do this kind of work that often because obviously clients want nails that are wearable usually if they've got jobs, typing or whatever, responsibilities, everyday use. So I've just stuck one form on top of the other, stretching this form out. This is going to be a super long nail. So as you can see, I have stuck these forms together as straight as I could manage. I'm just going to put that under there just for stiffness more than anything, really. So I'm going to just try and get as much shape in this form as I can before we apply it. So rolling it between your fingers. There we go, look. So it holds its shape like that now at the moment. I've used a longer nail bed for the demonstration today, but you should get used to sculpting on any of the nail plates. So, true stilettos straight out of the finger. Challenging myself. I haven't done one this long before. So today is going to be fun. You've got to pinch it up really tight without crushing it. Okay, it's pretty straight. A cover peach, and I'm going to elongate the nail plate with the reverse small line. It's going to be very difficult to get the required depth of product, given that this small line is going to be so elongated halfway down the first form already. So I'm just going to build up in layers, and then we'll file it again like we did before, although it's going to be rather pointy. You want consistency in colour as well. These cover pink powders become a little bit watermarked, and they can separate if you don't drain that little bit of that liquid out of the bead first to help stand it up. Here we go. Look how long and skinny and narrow that is. That's just the cover pink section. We'll build the colour on down here. Whilst we want the cover pink to come a long way down this nail to try and balance the overall look of it, we do want our colour to still come up all the way up here. Still keep draining out the liquid. Blend each bead into the last one. Just skimming the brush over the surface. You don't really have to do too much. You don't want to overplay with the product. Right, I do love this peach one actually, it's very nice. So you can see already this is the size of a normal nail, a normal long nail for a lot of people. So you must remember when laying your coloured acrylic that the important bit here is getting right up into the sidewall. I'm not overly concerned about how perfectly crisp this smile line is right at the very tip here, because I'm going to be doing decorating work, like design over the top of it, but it's always good practice to make sure that your smile line is crisp. Mine could have been crisper. So I've put the darker colour up near the smile line, blending it down the form because I want to just go do a little bit of a colour fade. Second bead is quite wet so that we can get a lovely blend. Coming down over this join onto the second form now, so should be careful about keeping it smooth. Then this Sweet Harmony one, which is Essential Nails, we're just going to use on the tip. It's semi-transparent pink with some glitter in, so it will give quite a glassy effect on the end. The very tip, see how long this is? Goodness me. This is when you really notice when the filing techniques need improving. So that is a stiletto. It's very long. Keep a check on your form here, make sure that you've got enough product on all the way along the line. You don't want to have a bit missing here and have to go back and patch it. You want to make sure that you've just come over the finished line of where your product's going to end when you filed it. I'm going to start at here, put little candy twists all the way up it. I want to use it quite sparingly. Now I need to encapsulate all of this colour and glitter in clear. Now the biggest issue with a nail like this is getting an even pinch. Because you'd have worked your collar all the way down and then you'll cap it with clear, you work your way up whichever way around you like to do it, but you're not going to get the product set at the same rate up here as you will down here, or vice versa. So you're going to have to make sure that you keep a really close eye on this as it's setting, because you can't miss your opportunity to pinch. You need to get a lot of shape into this. And you also need to remember that where you've overlapped forms, this end's thinner. There's only one layer. Up here there's two layers. This bit's going to be stiffer. So you don't want to over pinch the bit at the bottom before you've pinched the rest of it. Of course, coming underneath the form to get it up by the side walls because of the sheer length of it. But you can pinch with your fingers as well. Just give it a little bit of a roll, even pressure right down both sides. So this is setting, it's going off. It's all a bit lumpy and bumpy, but we'll file that out. What you got to remember is the underneath structure is really important, that you don't squeeze your form. Form placement and filing, probably the two most important things about doing extreme shapes and lengths like this. Away from the nail. Okay. Filing. Just going to take all the rough bits out from underneath first. So the angle of my file, it's not across the nail so that you cut in ridges and get an uneven surface. We're going to go the length, twist it round so it's at this angle, so that you're filing the whole length of that side wall at the same time. Okay, so I've got the worst of it off now. I'm going to work on the side walls and rounding the whole surface of this nail from side wall to side wall like an ice cream cone. I also keep flipping from side to side to side because you don't want to file into the tip and end up taking one side wall out and not making the other side even. So here's filing a straight line. All of that nail is in contact with my file at the same time. You don't want to keep moving it and cutting into it and putting pressure in different areas. You must keep the pressure light, but keep the file perfectly straight. And just gently, just keep running it backwards and forwards. The same lines. And you get a really, really crisp, perfect straight line. Same again this side. A lot of people don't go far enough with the filing, that's the problem. They think, oh yeah, that'll do, it looks smooth enough. Well, looking smooth enough isn't necessarily perfectly smooth enough. And when you just tip that past the vertical, you can see the other side wall behind it. And they should be perfectly straight and perfectly matched. So even your smooth surface on the top, smooth surface at the side wall. Right, we're going to go around the cuticle area. So I'm just going to run over the whole nail surface now with a buffer block to take out the worst of the scratches. When they get this long, it is quite hard to support the whole nail, but you need to support the whole length of the nail for the client's benefit. It can be painful whilst you're hanging around on the end of this. Okay, after filing, moment of truth, we're going to apply top coat. Splay the bristles out, right up to the cuticle area, so you get a neat line. Neat application all the way down the side walls. You're going to need a lot of product for this. Okay, one very long, very long, it's as long as my finger, look. Very long stiletto. I'm going to cure it in the lamp. I have my small mini brush. First thing I'm going to do is apply a very small bead of clear acrylic. And I'm just going to place it on the nail surface straight onto the top coat. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just making it up as I go along. Another one a little bit lower down, but I'm going to do a smaller one. And I think I will make sure that the pearlescent white side is showing. Use the backing paper from before. Pick up a bead of white. Just going to dip it into a little bit of turquoise. Try it out slightly. Okay. Work it out into a long, thin stripe. Or maybe crescent shape actually. I want it to fold around the pearl. Again, I'm going to use a few different colours, so dipping into the white first, then I've got a purple. Double dipping your colours. And just press it out. I'm going to test this one. Got to keep an eye on it. You want it to still be flexible, but you want it to be set enough that you can peel it off in one big piece without it tearing. There we go. Do you want it to stick down on there? Right, just going to work it with the bristles of your brush, tuck the little edges in. So we've folded those two bits of acrylic around there, almost like petals, like the pearls will be the centre. So I'm going to make a few more of these. With some blended colour. It's just timing with this sort of thing. You've just got to wait. There we go, it's starting to lift off. I'm just going to keep adding layers around these pearls. There's two big pearls there encased in some 3D work, and I'm going to add a few crystals and some beads to finish it off. I've got a tiny bit of brush on glue. I'm just going to stick on a few little AB crystals. A little bit more glue. Just the tiny ones. I have shells and stuff as well. I could probably get a couple of shells on there, but I don't want to overdo it. Some top coat on there. A very, very thin brush. This is just for gel. I use this for gel all the time. I use to hold the crystals on. Painting around the base of each one. Not going over the top of it, because that's when they lose their luster, their sparkle. If you coat the gems completely, so I just paint around the base. But it's great for picking up these little beads too. Put a few in there. Just sort of gives it that last little bit of detail. Gives it a real fairy tale look. It's very rare that I ever do nails this length, but it's very good for your skills, skill building, if you make a habit of having a practice and doing something like this now and again. I am happy with that finished look. I'm going to pop it in the lamp and I'm going to cure that no wipe top coat that I've just used to put those bullion beads on with. This is the finished nail. The 3D encases the pearls because they're very prominent on the nail. The sky's your limit really. You can create anything you like with just a few basic products.